You can do it. This is the time. Let's go, Cole. Good, Parker. You're doing great, Parker. Keep it up. Keep it up. Let's go, Parker. Charge to Cole. Come to him, Alec. You got to finish this like crazy. Let's go, baby. Come on. You can do it. You're doing great. Come on. Let's go. Let's get it. Let's go, baby. You can do it. That's it. Come to him right now. Stay smooth. Quick. 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 Come to him. You're doing great. You're doing great, buddy. Keep it up. You can feel this. You can feel it. You did 2 right here. We're there. Come on. You can do it, buddy. You can do it. Quick. Quick cadence all the way up the hill. Quick. You got a line of 5. Come get him. Come on. You can do it. This is our team against. We're right against. You can go get him. You're the lead guy. You're our team. Let's go. For your team, baby. Go. That's it, Cole.
Oh, sorry.
No, okay.
That was one. What do you remember, if anything, from that morning?
0. Nothing. Not a thing.
Do you know where it was when you had the heart attack?
I do. I do. We're pretty much probably standing there right now. Still to this day, I don't know why I was here. It was the end of a JV race. It was the end of the last race of the day. But normally I'm, somewhere on the other side of the lake over here, or on the other end of the levee or something. I don't know what brought me to this point at that time of the race. Or maybe it wasn't. Because I don't remember any of it. Maybe it was late enough in the race that it wasn't. I had come in at that point. I don't know. And that's just a point of not having any memory of what happened.
It's been a long time. I guess it's, 13 years ago. It was the district meet at North Lakes Park. So it was the last race of the day. Somebody came up and said, Coach T's had a seizure. So we ran, I don't know how far it was, down the course and came to Steve, and he had collapsed on the levee.
The strangest thing of that district meet, somebody without realizing it, they took a picture of me on the levee. My son is standing by me, and I'm basically, for all practical purposes, dead at that point. My memory is that picture.
I kind of just remember looking around, and there was this giant circle around Steve, and it was just people praying. We did CPR for I don't know how long. There was an emergency room physician that showed up and started helping us too. And I think I remember it was about 20 minutes before the fire department even got there. They shocked him and did all the drugs. They worked on him for about 20 minutes. So it'd been about 40 minutes with, no heartbeat, nothing going on, when they decided to transport him to the hospital. They loaded him up, put him in the back of the ambulance, kind of with the idea that they were transporting him to pronounce him dead. I'm afraid. I don't want to raise these kids by myself. I heard them say, I have a pulse. They were so shocked that he had spontaneously gotten a pulse after 40, 45 minutes.
I have those memories now that aren't my personal memories, but I know those things were going on. I have some of the memories told to me, back to me, that I've told to my sister-in-law or to my wife, about basically experience of being dead, I guess you could say.
Go, jump on it.
Let's go on. Miles. I don't know how.
It just was a gradual process. The boys caught on real quick. The second year of the school, we won our first district championship. After that, I think if memory serves me right, we won 17 straight years on the boys at district. And then I took over the girls cross country in the third year, and they were already state medalists in '91.
Yeah, Andrew, take a lap.
Come on.
Coach.
I'm tired, you're tired, we got to get it right? Yeah, all right, there we go.
It was a different game then, for sure. I mean, the girls cross country then was not the same as it is now in terms of how good the girls have gotten. They just gradually grew each year. It seemed to get a little bit better. I got a little bit smarter. I mean, I was a football coach. I mean, I had 1 year of cross country. I had a lot to learn.
I know there's a ton of distractions, homecoming week. So, there's stuff going on all over the place. And some of you ignore that. Some of you, though, are very invested. So just make sure you're taking care of the things you need to take care of to be good on Saturday morning. Good with that?
Sir.
All right, 9:15 at study hall. 1, 2, 3.
March Ross!
After that kind of a hypoxic, lack of oxygen brain injury, people who open their eyes and obey commands within 24 hours have a much better prognosis or future than people who take longer than 24 hours. So they basically said, we've got 24 hours for him to open his eyes and start responding. If he doesn't in that 24 hours, it's a really dismal outcome.
We're heading to study hall right now. So all the kids have an assigned spot in study hall, and hopefully when we get there, they will be in their assigned spots. That's the plan, is to have them all sitting and quietly doing something.
At about 8:30 the next morning, he started having seizures, which meant his brain was swelling, things were getting worse. I'd been in with him, and they asked me to step out because they were going to try and take him to CAT scan to see if they could tell what was going on. And I came out of the waiting room and said to my sister and my mom and whoever else was there, I said, I think we need to start planning a funeral. And we all really thought that because he was going down fast.
6:45, I'll see you in the morning. Yep. Oh, we're in those tomorrow. T-shirts tomorrow. Not the shorts, they're not legal for school.
As it turns out, our church service went from 8 to 9, and at 8:55 the pastor finished the sermon and started telling the rest of the church what had gone on with Steve, and said, they've said he needs to open his eyes in 24 hours. And so they prayed, the church prayed, that Steve needed to open his eyes. And that was at 8:55, 5 minutes before the service was over. At 8:55 at the hospital, me not knowing anything about that, they came out and said, Mrs. Telaneus, we need you to come in here. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is it, he's gone. And I walked in, and his eyes were open, and they said, Steve, can you show us 2 fingers? And he showed us 2 fingers, and it was like, he opened his eyes, he started responding to commands, and that was the moment we knew that his brain was, we didn't know how much damage there was, but there was enough that there was hope that he was going to recover at that point.
And when did it start to become clear the extent of the brain damage meant?
As soon as they took the tube out and we started being able to speak to him, it was very obvious that he didn't know much at all. He always knew who we were. He knew who I was, he knew who the kids were, but he didn't know things at all. As a nurse, you never want to see the awful things in your own family, and I really never wanted to see a brain injury in anybody that I loved. And so there it was, what I'd always said I didn't want right in front of me.
I remember when I was walking around the hospital one time, and my wife took me into the little gift shop. I mean, I have in my mind, I can see just the colors and everything. I couldn't read what they were, but it was just so overwhelming. It was like fireworks going off in my mind of what is all this? What do I like? I mean, I just could not make any sense of it all.
Of course, he couldn't read, right? And he also couldn't remember, like, that a Snickers is chocolate and caramel, or that Sweet Tarts are sour. I mean, he didn't remember anything about things.
And then I remember going over to the drink container and looking into that refrigerator. What is all this stuff? And I'm like, I look down and I get down towards the bottom and Snapple. Snapple? What in the world is a Snapple? Do I like Snapple?
And he said, I'll just drink an orange soda, which is what he had drank as a kid. So that was kind of one of those moments of, he knows he likes orange soda.
I had no idea what was going on.
First on the grass, forward on the track. Yay. 400s, 90 or 60-second rest on the 400s. 400s are minus 2 to 4 on your race pace. Everybody good to go? Yes, sir. Are we good to go? Yes. All right. 1, 2, 3. March cross. Do it. Let's go. Come on, leaders, take them. I think it was Friday or something. My goodness. Of homecoming week, where everybody's mildly distracted.
I think the worst was the first time I remembered that my father-in-law had died that summer. We had bought his car from him, and I remember walking with my family, around the hospital, and we walked outside, and I wanted to see my car and see if I could remember it and things like that, and so we were looking at the car, and I thought it was still Pop's, which is what we call Jim, Pop's car, and then they told me that no, that he died, and I just remember breaking down and not knowing he was dead. And I think there was one day where I basically found out for the first time 4 different times that he had died that summer, and went through all of the emotions and all the grief of, it's like I found out for the first time. And that's when they decided, we're not telling him, Jim's dead.
Basic things like the first time they brought him, well, he couldn't read at all. He couldn't read anything. So the first time they bought him a tray that he could eat, he couldn't read that it was milk or orange juice, or he couldn't read the packages. So he said, what is all this stuff? And so I went through and told him, this is your milk, this is your juice, this is your popsicle. So we went through and he had to learn what things were. And then he went to pick up the milk. We didn't know how to open a milk carton, so I opened that for him. And when he went to pick the milk up, he crushed it, because he had no memory of how hard do you squeeze a milk carton. I mean, he didn't do that again, so he learned that stuff he learned the first time he experienced it. But I would say everything he experienced, he had to learn about it.
But that's about the extent of, I guess, 3 weeks there. I don't remember the doctors or anything. And then before the event, I don't remember that cross-country season. I don't remember much of the immediate next few weeks, very little of being at home and going through all that. It starts coming back, as the farther I get away from the vent. I'm just kind of like a water balloon lands on the ground, central where it lands is gone, and it splatters everywhere. You don't know where it's going to hit. You don't know what, so for memory, I don't know what memories, why do I have this memory? Why do I not have that memory? It's a very random thing in a lot of ways. Then the frustration, I think, was overwhelming. I didn't have the emotional stability to deal with it in a lot of ways, because I didn't know. I had no idea what I was doing. I really did. In my first 15 years here, I didn't have an assistant coach. And, in '99, we had 140 kids on the team. I had no assistant. That was it, boys and girls. So, even though it's abnormal, you get used to it as normal. So I could not do it. When I came back from the brain injury, there's no way, I can't do it. That I don't have as much ability to remember the things I need to remember and all that kind of thing. So, but you just make adjustments and get assistant coaches that are good.
Even you are. We're rolling.
I'm not blocking the light or anything here.
No. Just don't sway too much that way.
Okay.
To your right. Yeah.
And I just look at Travis?
Yep, you just look at Travis.
Okay. All right, I can do this. I've known Steve both sides of the heart attack in 2001, the pre-heart attack Steve and the post-heart attack Steve, and they're 2 very different people.
Good job.
There's a lot of changes. Initially, he's brilliant. He had like a photographic memory for times. He'd stand up on the stage with kids And he could quote their PRs in every race they'd ever run from the time they were freshmen until they graduated.
Don't play with that, okay?
He was a taskmaster. We had an agenda that we followed for track practices, and there were no ifs, ands, or buts about who the program was run by. And of course, he's an incredible man. He brings the best out of everybody. It's hard to be around him and not feed off the emotion and the vibes and the enthusiasm that he has for the sport.
It's rewarding. It's different than teaching a biology class, and so it's rewarding in a different way. I mean, it's no different from the perspective of, you want to help out kids, and every kid's important. I talk a lot about it on my team. I'm going to coach every kid because they have purpose and they have importance, and they were created the reason to be here, and so every kid deserves some of that same treatment. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely stretched me. I've never thought about working with special needs kids before, but it's been really cool. It's a cool experience. 43 seconds. It's almost time, Dan.
What was Steve's physical sort of condition in the years before? Was this expected? Like,
The guy, he ran with the kids. He biked 100 miles a week. No, he ate all the right things. I was the guy that that did everything wrong. They found out later that he has that gene. It's called lipoprotein A, which causes a cholesterol buildup, and it was purely a hereditary thing. It had nothing to do with his health or diet. No, he's the last person you would have assumed something like this would have happened to. He was incredibly healthy. It was a shock. Of course, and it was in the primary coronary artery. It's the one they call the widowmaker. Most people don't live through that one. He's a walking miracle. There's no doubt.
You ready? You ready? We're on it, let's go! I didn't really know what we did. I only knew what we did based on what I had on paper. I didn't know what I was doing. I was like, guys, how do I coach? What do I do? I spent a couple years relearning how to be a good coach. Stand up. Okay, you're not standing. And I'm still learning that. I'll find an old file I haven't seen and I go, wow, I did that. I was pretty good then. Follow me. See, you put your arms up before. It's been a process of reestablishing the kids' trust in me. I had very little self-control. As a coach, I could be patient with them. I could be compassionate, and I could be understanding and merciful when it was called for. And when I came back from my heart attack, I'd lost all that. I'd lost any sense of mercy, any sense of compassion. I had no idea how to be kind. Good, David, that's really good, bud.
It was hard for him to learn how to deal with frustration or anger or impatience.
Straight leg, knee up, that's the hardest part.
And those things were when he would get more agitated and irritated because he felt like I should know how to be kind, and I don't know how to be kind.
Be tall, smooth, fast.
So they won state championships in 96, 99, and 2000. We haven't won one post-heart attack.
I could look at the paper and say, we win state championships, so we win state championships now, and then we don't win a state championship, and I say, what's wrong? I think about it a lot. I remember coming out the first couple of years, and it was, it's pretty emotional at that point, but it's funny to revisit this because we don't really revisit it. It's 13 years ago. This is, for us, it's almost like, this is kind of ancient history, isn't it? And obviously it impacts my life still because I still have to deal with the fact that I am different, that I'm not, that my brain works a little bit different, that my memory is not as good. All things that are a consequence of what happened, but it's not something we dwell on. So I had to relearn. I do this because of the kids. I do this, the process is what's important. Yes, we have goals, I think that's important. Yes, we try to win, that's important. But that's not more important than the joy of the journey, of taking every step you go and passionately embracing what you're doing and doing it well to the best of your ability and finding joy and satisfaction in doing it that way.
It took a couple years before he started being the coach and the teacher he wanted to be again.
about that time I started feeling like, okay, I'm understanding, I'm grasping what we need to do as a team. What we were doing, the style we were doing, the type of training we were doing, it was right for them. I regained a lot of confidence during that time that, yeah, I can do that.
I'm a firm believer in everything happens for a reason, and it did. He's a different guy than he used to be, but he's actually better.
I think there's only one thing still remaining in my mind that will probably solidify my own feeling about how I coach a state championship.
We've medaled a bunch. We haven't won it.
If that never happens, I think I'm doing the best I can do.
Eyes up! 220s, 240s, 200s. One lap, take it to the house for study hall. Everybody ready to go?
Yes, sir.
1, 2, 3.
FloTrack.
Now right here, let's go. Long coast, get a long coast. Set, go! Set, go! Set, go! My good speed, good start on it. All righty. Nap time.
We're extremely motivated this year, mainly because we have a bunch of seniors on the team. We all know it's our last year. We all know that we want to win the state meet.
They have the greatest work ethic of any group I've ever worked with. It's not a lot of times, like I said, you go out on a 10-mile run and you have 8 girls staying together at about a 6:40, 6:45 pace, and they're talking. They're chatting as we run. They're a pretty unique group.
Yeah, I think we are a little bit more focused this year, mainly because we all have admitted that our goal is to win state. And so we all know that that's what we're working for, and that's what all the hard work is for.
That's the pinnacle of a high school sport, is to claim that championship. And there's no doubt in any of their minds that they can win the state meet.
I feel like it's our duty to repay him for everything he's done for us by giving him a state championship.
Being able to, finish that state meet and knowing that we got it and just seeing him, I want that so bad. And to be able to accomplish that for Coach T would, it'd mean the world to him.
I feel like this is our year. We should win it.
We've got to make sure that when we go out there, we're ready for whatever comes.
That door's finally closed, and it's been a door that's probably the last one from a professional standpoint, since 2002. It's the last, all the things that I've been able to coach, and God's restored for me and blessed me with. That was the last one I'd done. So I'm pretty thankful for that. It's been an amazing journey. Life's a good thing.
have to be strong enough as an individual. You're standing at a starting line, and you know that within just a short amount of time that things are gonna hurt, and it's gonna be difficult, and you have to go irregardless because people depend on you.